All right, everybody, welcome back to Gen Booms. I'm Connor.
I am Robert, his dad.
Yes, and obviously today, for those of you who might be seeing right now, the two different ones, you might be like, what exactly is going on? So unfortunately, last night, we had recorded Harry Styles' new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. And because we record on my phone, I'd forgotten to delete some of the other videos because it's long. So I ran out of storage during recording. I couldn't see it. So we missed out on about an hour of recording, which means songs 6 through 12 we didn't have. And so it was like, oh, God, no.
But we talked. We reviewed.
Yeah, we got the audio.
We reacted to the entire album.
The whole thing, yeah.
It's just we don't have the video. We have the audio only.
Yeah, which sucks. So we were talking, we figured it out, even with my brother, and we were like, we're just going to put basically 2 videos. So that's why this one, because as much as I think, like, me growing up on YouTube and everything, I know a lot of people, myself included, always love, like, just authenticity. So it's just like, I would always value a real reaction. So like, if that video is still going to be up, we're going to put that up. So if you want to just watch like the first 5 songs from there, you can go see that. And then I know, like, me personally, even sometimes I'll just listen to stuff while I'm doing laundry or something else. So if you want to just listen to the audio, I'm going to keep the audio with the video. And then once it reaches that point, it's going to be just audio. You can just listen to that if you want. And then, of course, if you're like, I really want visuals, then we're going to like sort of almost re-react to the song 6 through 12 here. Because it is still newish enough where, like, all right, we'll catch new stuff for sure. And
yeah, and I don't really remember a lot of it. A lot of the lyrics were really kind of out
they're
there
tough to get.
in a sense to sort of for deciphering. So it's still kind of like a new one. But yeah, we just thought we'd rather be authentic and not like just re-record it and
tell you
like
nothing.
No, so we want to be honest and like so we're
doing both basically. So
yeah.
You can sort of pick whichever you want, and you guys can leave comments. Let us know what you think moving forward. And so yeah, we're just gonna sort of get back into it. We let's see, we did 1 through 5. Last one was Taste Back on the album, and I'll put a link to it in the corner and in the description. I'll do that. And so we're gonna start from The Waiting Game here. Oh, my bad.
All right.
I got to get up the lyrics here.
I remember I remember the titles, but I don't really remember the songs because we only heard it one time, last night, and we were trying to do it right when the album dropped, so like pretty well on the minute we were doing it,
yeah.
And unfortunately, it just did not record at all.
Didn't work out too well for us.
Anyway, but hopefully you still enjoy it, and it was pretty interesting stuff. So
musically and lyrically,
definitely different from his earlier stuff. So it'd be kind of cool to hear it again and see if we can decipher it.
Yeah, maybe we can actually get through it. Because in case you end up not watching the first one, it was tough to decipher some of the stuff he's talking
some of his
about.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, even on his earlier albums, I think we only did one other album before that. But I mean, it's not always like crystal clear.
No, not really.
But I mean, but he's an artist and he does, keeps it you can interpret it different ways.
For sure.
So
yeah.
Anyway, I think we are ready.
So here we go.
Shortcomings, ignore your agency to stop. Write a ballad with the details while skimming off the top. A personality, considering you've been a little over honest lately. And you apologize, dirty clown. Tonight tantalize and titillate, knowing it won't make the grade. Do you leave it on the table? You apologize, emotionally dry. And years go by. You found someone to put your arms around, playing the waiting game. But it all adds up to nothing. You tried messing with your own design, playing the waiting game. When it all adds up to nothing.
I really like that synth vibe. It's such a cool vibe.
I was saying, very cool.
But it all adds up to nothing. Playing the waiting game. When it all adds up to nothing.
For me, I gotta say, I think it actually was a little clearer this time. I mean,
Really?
with
Unlike the lyrics?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, just. I mean, I think I said something like this when we watched it last night. But I think it's about himself. Like.
Yeah, we were wondering.
Yeah, some of these songs, I think, I don't remember this one particularly, but that I thought it was more about himself. But I wasn't sure when we reviewed it before, because I thought, like, the part where it says, like, you found someone to put your arms around. I thought, oh, maybe it's not. But, no, I think he is talking about himself, like, romanticizing his shortcomings and all that.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then, maybe you've been a little over honest lately, and you apologize. A dirty clown. So maybe he's a little over honest with in his lyrics, or or maybe to the person. But then, and then I think, like, the playing the waiting game, but it all adds up to nothing. Like, he puts his arms around someone. You got someone to put your arms around, But you found someone to put your arms around. It's like, okay, so another lover, another whatever, because not that hard for him to get that. And he's kind of like waiting for the right person, or just down the road he's gonna fall in love, or he's putting off like
waiting for the love to kick in.
Yeah, exactly, and then putting off like having a wife and kids or whatever it is. So he's just kind of having fun for now, but playing the waiting game. But it all adds up to nothing, because he knows, like, it's not like a meaningful relationship.
No. Yeah.
So that's what I got out of it this time. I don't know, what do you think?
I thought pretty similar. I agree that, but the waiting, at least the chorus, I think probably is about either. It could be about somebody else too, just because not that I remember super well, but I remember Taste Back, which was the previous song, seemed to be about somebody else, like a past relationship. And it was like, did you get your taste back, which I remember I had interpreted as like, did you come to your senses, and do you like me again? But so it could be about somebody else, but I agree that it does sort of seem that way, with some of the ways, like, he's talking harshly, is like, unless he was just really talking harshly on like a past lover or something. But yeah, it sounds like he'd be saying, like, yeah, he needs to do better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Even like, do you tantalize or titillate?
Oh yeah.
No, it won't make the grade. I mean, he's a attractive guy. A lot of women think he's very sexy, and he's a great performer. And he puts it all out there. So
yeah.
He titillate, on stage and everything. So do you do that? Do you leave it all on the table? But also, that can be like love. Like you're just playing the game. Like you're teasing, you're tantalizing, you're titillating. Like, yeah, I'm into this. But are you really leaving it all on the table? Like,
I'm not playing it safe.
Like with love, yeah. So, are you, and you apologize emotionally dry, and years go by. So yeah, I tend to think it's more about him and
definitely could be.
And love and stuff like that.
Because he has been, like harsh on himself, and at least in Fine Line, which is what we've heard so far. And Aperture sort of mentions it, so
yeah,
stuff that would make sense for him.
Very, very cool.
So we'll move on to season 2, Weight Loss. actually does remind me of Radiohead.
Aren't you for sale if your cash it ain't cold? You gotta sit yourself down sometimes. It's hard to tell and the thoughts are my own. And the old head gets harder to hold. You gotta sit yourself down sometimes. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. You love me now, do you? Do I let you down? Holding out, hoping love will come around. It's kinda sad, but there's something I know. Too many things for you to analyze. Steaming and swinging with your eyes closed. We're like coming once in a while. You gotta sit yourself down sometimes. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Do you love me now? Do you? Do I let you down? Holding out, hoping love will come around. You could be here in my arms, nothing at all. You want peace and nothing at all. Do you love me now? Do you love me now? Do you love me now? You gotta sit yourself down sometimes. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Love me now, love me now. Do you? Do I let you down? Holding out, hoping love will come around. You could be here. You want peace and nothing at all.
I love those drums.
Oh, the drums are very
I
cool.
really like those drums. Those drums are super cool.
Yeah, that really just drives that song. Man, trippy song musically and lyrically.
Yeah,
I don't know that I know it any better than I did
I agree.
last night.
No, I don't think it's any clearer lyrically.
I mean, I still think it's about himself and or potentially, or for the most part, even though his part's about
The chorus, right?
yeah,
Hoping you'll love me now. Yeah.
But I mean, that's still kind of about himself. I think that hoping the other person loves him now, and like if it's season 2, it's like you've been around, you got renewed, so to speak, like so you're kind of going to the next step, but it's also kind of the same because it's season 2 of whatever was season 1
similar,
was.
just different.
So so I just kind of took it that way, that but I mean, it's hard to say because the lyrics are still a little confusing, and I know we dove into a little bit more last night. Was there anything else that stood out for you this time?
Not necessarily anything more. It's about the same to me in terms of the chorus doesn't do much because it's mostly repetitive. So there's that. I think I still take it honestly similar to you. I think where especially because of the way that it sounds very like the drums are very like military type esque, and it sounds like on a mission. So I feel like he's like, and it's called Weight Loss, so I think it's supposed to embrace or represent something about like him doing better to get this person's love back, or just doing better in general. I'm not.
Yeah, because also then it does say, you know, repeats that you got to sit yourself down sometimes. Like it's generally like you do that, like, you know, give yourself a talking to, like, you know, like set things straight, like just sit your butt down, you know, kind of a thing. So, yeah, that's why I took it that way too. Anyway, but hey, if you have a different interpretation, let us know.
Yeah.
Not totally sure on that one.
But I really like that musically. I think it's really cool, and it does remind me of Radiohead. With like, if you just basically tune out the lyrics, like you could just sit there like this, and there's all these different instruments going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is definitely different. It's not like your standard pop hit by any means.
No,
like it's not like a radio hit.
No, yeah, that's definitely an album song for sure.
Yeah.
Next we got Coming Up Roses.
Oh, I remember I liked this one. It was like a ballad, I believe.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly from the one time we heard.
Tell me your fears. Turn back the clocks, it's that time of year. If we stay the course, we could get it right. But I'm not devoid of an appetite. And everything seems to be coming up roses, but I'm scared if we're both right. Does that mean we're not aligned? Just for tonight, let's go hangover chasing. And I'll talk your ear off about why it's safe, as I fumble my words and fall flat on my face through the truth. Just say the word and we'll take up the test, where we flirt with the bad ones and skip all the rest. But we see out the night with your head on my chest, me and you. There's only me and you. Now I see your tears on account of my wants, and now it appears that I'm feeling guilty and worried, dear, that you think that I might not want you here. Does all of this seem to be bringing us closer? Am I backseat in your life, judging while you drive? Just for tonight, let's go hangover chasing. And I'll talk your ear off about why it's safe, as I fumble my words and fall flat on my face through the truth. Just say the word and we'll take up the test, where we flirt with the bad ones and skip all the rest. But we see out the night with your head on my chest, me and you. There's only me and you.
Full orchestra.
It's a beautiful song.
Just building and it's nice. Yeah, I really like it.
I did this whole album, honestly, especially this one, but it's like you could just sit there with headphones.
Very nice.
It's only me and you. La 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 la.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's very, very pretty.
Yeah, that is a great one.
I think it's a little more straightforward. I mean, this is about, you know, a romance. This is, you know, he's singing to the person, I think, you know.
That part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's, and then, you know, everything seems to be coming up roses, you know, meaning everything's beautiful, everything's looking great, you know. But then at the same time, but I'm scared if we're both right, does that mean we're not aligned? What do you mean, like, especially if we're having an argument, you know, somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. So if we're both right, then we're not aligned. We're not really the same.
Yeah.
You know, but I would particularly like that one line about, let's go, just go down here. But
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, like, does all this seem to be bringing us closer, or am I backseating your life? Judging while you drive.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love that lyric. That
is really cool.
So good. Yeah, I'm you know, because you're a backseat driver, you're just sitting in the back and you're just kind of being annoying and you're telling me, oh, do this, do that. But so yeah, like, are we really partners? Are we coming closer, or am I just backseating your life? Like that's.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because he starts it off with the first verse, like you said, saying everything seems to be coming up roses. Scared if we're both right. Does that mean we're not aligned? But by that point, you know, we haven't heard anything else. You're like, what? Why? Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But then he finally, after the chorus and after the second verse, it's like, okay, so it seems, at least I take it as, it seems like she's more of an alcoholic, or at least likes to drink alcohol a lot, and he might partake here is like just for tonight, but he doesn't seem to love it, and is sort of trying to tell her not to. But he's like, oh, we've got different lifestyles, and what if both of us are right, then we're just different, and that sucks.
Yeah, I think so. And then, you know, there's even parts, you know, that, you know, now I see your tears on account of my wants. Like, you know, what I want is making you cry, making you unhappy, or what have you. Or, so, you know, and then now it appears that I'm feeling guilty and worried here. So, yeah, so it's
an interesting song, for
yeah,
sure.
so, you know, there's just these insecurities and trying to figure out, are we doing what's best, you know, for us, or is it, or are we not? Basically.
Yeah, it's a really cool song, honestly. Yeah, because it's like, I think on the one hand, it's normal for, in general, like, you don't want your partner to be like, not necessarily that she is, but like an alcoholic, or drink a lot of alcohol, or go out all the time. That's fairly normal to not want your partner to do that. But also, I don't, you know, he could be right from the perspective, like, this happens a lot, where like you'll start dating somebody, like, you knew they were like that, and you chose them. So you can't like turn around and be like, hey, oh, I want you to be better, when it's like, you chose them.
And he has, you know, was well known to have a drinking problem and
himself too,
things
yeah.
like that. So yeah, so I don't know. It's a really
great song,
a really interesting song.
Really
Really
cool.
like that one. Very nice.
And yeah, the orchestral part towards the end.
Yeah, that was cool. I just kept building, and it was very pretty.
Agreed. Now we got Pop. I don't quite remember.
Me either.
Still don't remember.
Daytime,
Okay, I remember the bass. I remember.
mainline, no more rolling papers, catching stray dogs. Try, but you can tame them. It's just me on my knees, squeaky clean fantasy. It's meant to be pop. Coming on my head, this could go anywhere. Do it again. It's meant to be pop. I don't know how to let this could go anywhere. I'm pulling the thread. It's making me pop. Want it to be heard, but I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. It's making me pop. I wanna take over your time. Katie's waiting to be your game day savior. First time tasting it, it's nice to mix two flavors together. It's just me on my knees. Pop, am
good amount here that are like would be cool in a concert because everybody would be like, yeah.
It was fun. I'd forgotten it, to be honest. And
It is a really fun one.
It was pretty fun. I mean, I took it as being about his music. Actually, I mean, it could also be about a lover, but I mean, I kind of took it as more just about his music and his career and like what he's doing, particularly even with this album. You know, that he's going in a very different direction. Like he knows what pop is. He's done pop, and this is a different direction. And you know, and it's. So the chorus is, am I in over my head? This could go anywhere. I do it again. It's meant to be pop. I don't know how it'll end. This could go anywhere. You know, so it kind of fits for that.
I agree.
Like,
I think, especially as you'd said before that, like in an interview, he said he was basically purposely trying to do something different. So it sort of fits with what he's saying here.
Yeah, I mean, from when I read the interview, yeah. So, yeah, definitely kind of fits that way. And then,
For sure.
you know, I want to take all your time. So, I mean, it can play on a different level too of being like, you know, with a lover or something that wants to be, and not knowing where it's going to end and how it's going to go, and you know, and
For sure.
can it just pop? Can it explode? Can it be different things? You know, like so. It can play to a degree on that level too, especially like, you know, just me on my knees, pop, you know, but also just me on my knees could be also, you know, still with his music career, like, you know, hoping, praying things go well, you know, begging for you to like me, or whatever it is, you know, so.
Yeah, I feel like this one's almost like one of those where it just from listening to it, I almost get the vibe that it's meant to be one that you can, like it's loose. You don't fully know what it's like. I feel like it's meant to be something that you can interpret in a bunch of different ways.
Well, I think most of these songs kind of seem that
True.
way too, you know. But it's whatever the case, like it's a fun one. I like
Really
the chorus. I can see, well, you know, singing along. This would be fun in concert.
Yeah,
it's just,
it'd be really cool in concert.
it's a fun song, and it's whatever the lyrical meaning is for it. I mean, it could be different things, but I'm going with my interpretation, and
It definitely makes sense.
and in whatever the case, I like the song. That's cool.
Yeah, we'll go on to Dance No More. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, cool bass.
So many good bass lines.
I don't think we should be here. I see no water reference, but the music keeps hitting me like a 10 out of 10. So I don't think. No, I don't think. Conversation is here and you get it all off your chest. You can come over here to tell me again and again what you think. No, I don't think. Go side to side with your hands up high. Keep your customer satisfied and live your life. DJs don't dance no more, they said. We wanna dance with all our friends. It's feeling like the music has been heaven sent, and there's no difference in between the tears and the sweat. DJs don't dance no more, they said. Go side to side with your hands up high. Keep your customer satisfied and live your life. DJs don't dance no more, they said.
little bit of a bizarre track.
Yeah, I mean, I take it as somewhat straightforward in the sense of like it's about DJs and like that move it side to side, get your hands up high, keep your customer satisfied. The customer is the crowd, they're dancing, and so yeah, I definitely took it just more like old school DJs. They were they put on a song and they'd kind of be dancing themselves, like in a club, for instance. And then, but nowadays DJs are like as big as whatever, rock bands, rappers, whatever. Like, they get $1 million, for a show and stuff like that. So,
I mean, the big ones, yeah.
Yeah, the big ones, right, yeah. So it's not just like, DJ in a club kind of a thing. So the big ones, like, yeah, they're not dancing anymore. They're, they're doing their thing. But as far as being in the crowd, like, we still want to dance with all our friends and just do our thing. And we just go back up the top here. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I think you're for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to tell exactly what it's just saying now, but like, it almost like seemed like he said I think that he was going to clubs and stuff like in Berlin and things. So I think that would kind of fit.
He was?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And feeling like a part of the audience, and that kind of stuff. So, so I don't think we should be here. I see no water or friends. Sometimes you're in a club and it's just like it's hot and sweaty and
it's not a good idea.
Water, but and also if you don't have friends around, it could be kind of a wild thing. But at the same time, the music keeps hitting me like a 10 out of 10. So he's just dancing. So yeah, I just kind of took it as more kind of straightforward of that. It's just about DJs and going to clubs and dancing and stuff, and just these days they're more like celebrities and the big DJs, and they're not dancing themselves. But I don't know, it's not any deeper than that I'm getting out of it anyway.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily know that. Yeah, I agree that it can't really be deeper. At least I don't see how.
But it's still a fun song, right? Like
it's a cool bass line. And it's the only one really
right
on the album that's actually like disco-y.
Kind of. I mean, yeah, not your like 70s disco, but yeah, like that bass line is pretty cool, and it just drives
for sure. And even the I think he did it to represent almost like the rest of the club singing, but like when everybody comes in.
Oh yeah, sings, yeah, right.
Even that's actually similar to like Pink Floyd would do on their songs.
Yeah, and that's kind of a fun thing. Even like you respect your mother.
Yeah, that was odd. Yeah,
as don't totally know what he means by that, but I mean, it's,
the whole thing is a bit bizarre.
All right, unless like if it was all about music and maybe music's your mother, so the DJ like respect your mother, and the crowd respect that I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea on that one. it was kind of cool when they're shouting it out, though. I don't know what the meaning is, but it was kind of cool, though.
Yeah, we're moving on to Paint by Numbers.
Yeah, alrighty.
Here's a short one.
Gift it is to be noticed, but it's nothing to do with me. You've got to wonder if there's a reason to believe it's a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers and watching the colors run. It's a little bit complicated when they put an image in your head and now you're stuck with it. You're the luckiest, or the irony holding the weight of the American children whose hearts you break. Was it a tragedy when you told her I'm not even 33? A little self-compassion and a life within you mean It's a lifetime of picking from one or the other, kids with water guns. Watch them run. It's a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers, watching the colors run.
That was a pretty little song. Nice short one, but it's
Yeah.
I will say
Sorry.
I do remember it, but it's I think it's similar to what we said last time, where like it does sort of sound like he's talking about how like paint by numbers is something you got to follow, and it sort of just tells you how to do it. And here he's saying one, like life is like you sort of just got to figure it out. It's sort of tedious, but also that it's like formulaic, like with music that you just sort of gotta.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it. There was that, like he kind of knows how to be a pop star at some point. He's been doing it since he was 16, and there is a formula of verse, chorus, that kind of stuff. And so that it becomes a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers, like musically. But then also watching the colors run is like at some point, if it gets wet or whatever, it starts to bleed and, and to run. And so, and now it's like, that's kind of more where he's at. Like, okay, this is how do you paint by numbers, and here it is. But now kind of watching the colors all run together and be something different, And I think I got a little bit more this time because I was confused when we did it last night, and because there was a part about
This entire portion.
well, there's various parts, but I think it had to do more with like scroll down a little bit is the because we were confused of like, okay, like it's a lifetime of picking from one or the other, kids with water guns, watch them run. I think it's kind of what we were talking about on a prior song, is that he's looking at as a musician, and he's kind of been putting off love or putting off family life or whatever because he wants to be he wanted to be a star. And so maybe now he's starting to think more about, what if I went the other way? What if I had a family? What so there's picking one or the other. There's the stardom, the bachelor, sexy guy, fun guy, with just various women, versus having a wife and kids and watching the kids run with water guns. So it kind of clicked a little bit more for me this time when I saw that I think that's what he's talking about. Like he's got this paint by numbers things going, but he's trying to break out of that, and then he's starting to wonder what would life have been if he chose a different path.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for the bridge. I think that's pretty good. I still don't get the verse 2 half of it, because it's a lot longer, I think, than verse 1, and it's still the second half is very
But I mean, even that,
confusing.
like it's like it's a little bit complicated when you put an image in your head and now you're stuck with it.
No, not that. Yeah.
But I mean, like, is that like there's an image like everybody's head, about who he is or who he was, when he left One Direction, and who he is each album. So he kind of got, I think, initially got stuck with that as the pop star thing, and then he kind of broke out like, but you're the luckiest. Oh, the irony. The next part I'm not totally sure. Like holding the weight of the American children whose hearts you break. Was it a tragedy when you told her I'm not even 33? Yeah, I don't know. That not totally sure on that one, but I mean, certainly there's a lot of teenage girls who were in love with him, so to speak, because he's so awesome.
But it doesn't.
So maybe in that sense he's breaking hearts. But yeah, that one I'm not totally as clear on. But
I'm reading the Genius annotation right now.
Yeah. So especially like when you said I'm not even 33, so it's because you wouldn't really be breaking hearts by saying you're not even. It'd be more like I am 33. So not totally clear about that one. whatever. But it's still overall the pretty song and nice, and a short one. It seemed like it was like only a couple of minutes long or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty song.
Yeah.
I just read I read the majority of the Genius annotation. It's doing a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah.
Well, everybody's probably guessing at this point because they don't know what he really knows. And so, whatever, I think we got the general sense of what, that he's just thinking about his life as a musician and as a singer and songwriter and wondering about, different things. So
I think so.
Yeah.
And the last song, Carla's song.
When Carla's never mentioned in the song.
Yes, yes.
There is a bridge that leads to troubled water. If you know, then you know. If you don't, then you don't. It's heavenly. From your head to your toes, it's all the light in the gold that you discover. Through your eyes and all melodies like the tide. It's all waiting there for you. It's all waiting there for you. Can you hear the voice deliver in the new? It's all waiting there for you. Call it what you wanna. You've been a baby sleeping upon a candy bar. Your eyes open up, changing summer light. It's all waiting there for you. Can you hear the voice deliver in the room? It's all waiting there for you. It's all waiting there for you. Call it what you wanna. It's all waiting there for you. It's all waiting there for you. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, you can hear it anytime. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know it's all right, I know what there is tonight. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, you can hear it anytime. I know it's all right, I know what you really like. I know it's all right, I know what there is tonight. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, you can hear it anytime. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, I know what there is tonight. I know what you like, I know what you really like. I know what you like, you can hear it anytime.
It's a fun song. I just
It was a
build
really
and
cool
build.
one. Yeah. That was real fun.
I actually think I figured it out this time.
Did you think?
Well,
Because you had an idea last time.
Yeah, because I mean, the beginning of the song where we said, "Oh, that sounds like it's like a clear reference to the Simon and Garfunkel song, "A Bridge Over Troubled Waters," because it says, "There's a bridge that leads to troubled waters. If you know, then you know. If you don't, you don't." So what I'm good at this time, maybe he played a song for Carla.
Okay.
And he probably played "A Bridge Over Troubled Waters." Could be any song really, but just go with this. So he plays her a song, and if you know it, if you know, you know. You don't, you don't. It's heavenly. So the song is something cool. So she's like feeling it, And he's kind of feeling it, like from your head to your toes, So it's like, and then you keep going like then the chorus, like through your eyes in awe, melodies like the tide. It's all waiting there for you. It's like he played something that she liked.
Okay.
It could be the other way around. Maybe she played something that he liked. But anyway, something that that person hadn't heard and like, oh, this is great. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
So the melody is hitting. It's all waiting there for you. You hear that voice delivering the news. Like the news is like, here's a new song. Here's something new you haven't heard. It's all waiting there for you. And then ignorance or innocence, like you weren't aware of the song, so you were innocent. But also you were ignorant because the song's been around for years. So, it can be taken that way. Call it what you wanna. You've been a baby sleeping on a candy bar, like, so you've been asleep, but it's right there, and it's sweet, and it's, so just open your eyes on the changing summer light. Like, so it's all waiting there for you. Can you hear that voice delivering the news? It's all waiting there for you. And then he keeps saying, like, I know what you want. I know what you really want.
Yeah.
I can read your mind. I know what you want. And you can hear it anytime. So I think it's about, finding music, discovering music, putting it, discovering a new song, putting something out there.
That is pretty good. I wouldn't have gotten it like that, but I that's pretty good. We'll never fully know until he says it.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's pretty good. It definitely works. I think that's pretty good.
Because I was wondering, because I was like, it seems like such a clear Simon and Garfunkel reference at the beginning, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that song. And it kind of threw me off the first time because I thought it's kind of almost going in a negative way, like there's a bridge that leads to troubled waters. But like, but you just take it as, like listening to a song, and it can take you in different directions. It can be, good, it can be bad, it can be, awesome. And so then, like, a lot of times you're not aware of some music that you're hearing. Oh, that's awesome, But so if you know, then you know. If you don't, you don't. So I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to use it as a metaphor for him expanding his music tastes and doing different things as well.
Could be too. Yeah. So then, Carla's song is either it's like she played him a song that he hadn't heard, or he played her a song. So maybe it's based on an actual friend of his. I don't know. I mean,
that's a part of the reason we had tripped up before. Like, why is it called Carla? Like, he must be talking to
a
girl or something.
And it wasn't making sense. But I think if we look at it that way, it would make more sense.
That's pretty good. I think that's.
I mean, still just.
That makes sense with the melodies like the tide and some of those specific lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Like this time, I was like, oh, because first time, like, don't know what it means, but I like the song. But this, I was like, I think if you interpret it that way, it kind of makes more sense. And then, like, oh, okay, could be. Let us know what you think of that. On all these, we're like, we don't know.
Yeah, he's a tough one to crack his songs sometimes.
Yeah, and his other stuff was kind of that way too. You don't always know. It's not always clear. I mean, I think that one song was the most clear one, like the Coming Up. That was that. I was thinking like Coming Up Roses, at least we thought was, even I guess it wasn't totally clear, but at least it was like about,
I think that one at least took some thought. Dance No More was like, there's not even a deeper meaning as far as we could see.
Oh, just like, DJs. Heartfelt, yeah. So, anyway, but so whatever the case, cool song. I like how it was just building, and it's just
that's a really cool one.
Fun.
Which I didn't even think about, but he had, not to the same level, I think, because Fine Line had even more like building up. Not to compare him, but I just realized that on Fine Line and this album, he ends both albums with a song that builds for the last couple minutes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. We'll see if maybe he does that on his other ones too. But that's interesting.
Don't know, but there's been a few songs that we're building, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, cool album.
It is a really cool album. I love the you know, that he's trying different things, and it sounds pretty cool in my opinion. So
yeah, musically particularly. I mean, lyrically too. It's more vague, you know. But that's not uncommon for an artist to, you know, have different interpretations and keep it kind of vague. But musically, certainly way more adventurous. Well, I can't say way more, but adventurous that it's different from his prior stuff and kind of and different from really whatever is out there right now. I think as far as, you know, popular anyway. So.
Agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool album. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought, and let us know what you think about how we did the video too. If you want to leave some comments, you know, we're open to criticism. Y'all like, no, don't do that shit again. But, all right.
We don't plan on doing that like ever again. Hopefully, hopefully. But you know, we just thought we got to be authentic and not just like, you know, re-record it and like. Not say that, okay, this is actually our second time, you know, hearing it, but it's such unique stuff and so new in a different direction for him, and
clearly we were still able to
it was still new a second time. Anyway, hopefully you liked it, but let us know what you thought about doing two different videos like this,
and then just let us know any info you know about Harry and the album, and just like and subscribe if you like, and check out, you know, some of the other Harry stuff we did, and that's about it. So we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.
Thank you, bye.